My name is Jerry Gill. Today is May 5, 2010. I'm visiting with Travis Adams on the Oklahoma State University campus in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This interview is for the O State Storage Project of the Oklahoma Oral History Research Program. Travis, thank you for taking time during finals week to visit with me.
Hi, you're welcome.
I know this is a pretty hectic time for you, and it's got to be an exciting time for you, Travis. I mean, you're going to be graduating Saturday in a couple of days with a double major in finance and
Spanish.
Spanish. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you excited about it? Are you going to get it behind you?
I'll be more excited when I figure out what I'm going to do afterwards, I think.
and then more excited when you finish your 3 more finals, right?
Right.
All right. Travis, you're a member of the Adams family, okay, which is historically significant and special to Oklahoma State University. Your great-grandfather, James Homer Adams, and his brother Arthur were were members of the class of 1896, which is the first graduating class from then Oklahoma A&M, now Oklahoma State University. And your great-grandfather, William Henry Harrison, made the run of 89, claimed a quarter section of land in now southwest part of Stillwater, surveyed the first town lot for Stillwater. So a lot of history there in the Adams family. So my question is, how much do you know about this legacy, and is it a source of pride for you?
Sure. I mean, I've known about it for quite some time now. I mean, we've had family reunions and things like that. And, we take picture based on, who is, a descendant of Arthur, and then who is a descendant of, James Homer Adams and things of that nature. So it's one of those things where we all kind of know the history that's there. And, I think that's kind of part of the reason why a lot of us end up coming to OSU is because we have that history and kind of that legacy somewhat. So, I'd say that it might be a source of pride as well. I mean, why not?
So,
I typically don't brag about it, but most of my friends know about it. So.
Okay. Well, of course, I was going to ask you, how did you sort of, I guess, over your lifetime, you get bits and pieces of it. You attend family reunions. You listen to some of the family traditions. There's stories they tell when they get together in reunions about some of the members of the family, early members.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there are. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it's always fun to go back there and hear about other people's experiences at OSU and whatnot. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything specifically that my great-grandfather did while he was at OSU. I mean, I know that he was, I want to say 13 when he came up here. He was really young when he came up here, but as far as his actual time at OSU, I don't know a whole lot about that.
There's got to be family reunions. There's always the family jokesters, the real characters. Any members of the family you think of that fits in the category for you?
Right. I really like my great Uncle Bob. We just call him Uncle Bob, but he's real fun to be around, and he was, I guess he's second generation OSU, and so he just been around. I think I want to say he's typically the oldest one there, and so and he's real active and just a real fun guy to be around, and he makes jokes and clowns on people, and it's real easy to talk with him and learn from him. So.
What about Walter and Diane? Have you got a chance to know them here in Stillwater?
Oh yeah, I've really kind of appreciated everything they've done for me. I usually store a lot of my furniture and stuff at their house over the summer. So, and
you ever go out to pool out there?
We for graduations and things like that, and for when the family comes down, we'll go swimming out there sometimes.
Well, Travis, let's talk about you for a few minutes, okay?
All right.
Can you tell me about where you grew up, about your parents and your family?
Yeah, I grew up in Lawton, Oklahoma. Went to high school there. Went to elementary through high school there. So really, just kind of my mom, dad, brother, and I were the only family in Lawton. We have a lot of family in Guthrie and in Oklahoma, and then on my dad's side, we have a lot of family everywhere else. But we were the only ones that were from Lawton, and just grew up there my entire life. But still stayed close to my family from everywhere. We'd always get together for Thanksgiving and things like that. And, so we were able to stay close as a family.
What high school did you go to there in Lawton?
Eisenhower High School.
Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Okay. Lawton, Mike.
That's right.
What about your school activities there, Travis? Things you did?
Yeah, well, I was on the tennis team in high school, so really enjoyed doing that. I was in a couple of clubs. I was in the Spanish club. I was on the academic team a couple of years. Trying to think what else. We did a real neat project. This is actually kind of how I got interested in the business aspect. Well, I'm a finance major now, probably. We did a competition with the Federal Reserve. And that was, a real good experience where we got to, as a high school student, actually go to the Federal Reserve and do a presentation on the state of the economy and, give suggestions and things like that. And so that kind of got me interested in economics, and I came to OSU and started taking business classes and got interested in finance. So that was real good.
Where did you go to the FDIC? Which office did you go to?
There's
Federal Reserve?
Yeah. We went to the branch in Oklahoma City, and we did it 2 years. In both years, we won at Oklahoma City, so we got to fly out to Kansas City and present there. And so then both times we came in second in Kansas City. Didn't ever get to go to DC, but
so that was the original. Was in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's right. That's what.
Congratulations, though, Travis. Great.
Thanks.
Super. Well, any other community activities you're involved in?
Sure. I was involved in my church down there. So we'd do different mission trips and activities, camps, and things like that. But every year we would do, during spring break, we'd go to Mexico, and they're in Rio Bravo, and we would usually build a house or two houses, depending on how many people we had, just for people who lived down there that were in poverty and things like that. And then during the summers, we'd have a week. It's called a youth forest, where churches from around Oklahoma come into Lawton, and we'll go around and fix up houses, whether they need a new roof or paint or things like that. So got some experience doing some roofing as well.
I'm picking up a conversation. You've got to be United Methodist. Is that correct?
That's right.
I know some of those terminology. It's my church as well.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So which church? First Church?
Yeah, First United Methodist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, super. So you can go on several VM trips and mission trips. And where are some of the places where you said you went to Mexico?
Right.
And then what about some of your other, you talk about camps and things. Where would you go to camp?
Dayspring, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly where it is in Oklahoma, but we do Dayspring every year. The high schoolers would, and then the younger kids went to Disciple Camp, I think is what it was called. So.
Travis, what year did you enroll at Oklahoma State?
I started coming here in 2006.
Okay. How much did your family tradition, OSU tradition, impact or influence your decision to attend Oklahoma State?
It's one of those things where no one ever forced me to come here, but I never really thought about going anywhere else. Just knowing that's where all my family went, it's where my brother went. I kind of knew it. I rooted for the team, and knew I had that history. So they why not come to OSU?
Now your brother's Danny, right? How many years between you? He's your older brother, right?
Yeah, 5 years and 12 days between us. Yeah.
In 12 days.
Yeah, that's right.
Did he have a good OSU experience?
Oh yeah.
Did he talk? Did you ever come up to visit him when he was in school?
Yeah, that was always real fun. I was in 8th grade, I think, the first year he was in college, and so it was real fun to get to come up and stay in the dorms every once in a while.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. So he'd always invite me up. I had to stay with him, a couple of nights out of the year every time. So. Now,
obviously, your father, Steve, graduated Oklahoma State. Did your mother go to Oklahoma State as well?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you've got a pretty good family tradition right within your generation and in your immediate family. So all four of you went to Oklahoma State University.
Right.
It's great. Super. Where did you live that first year at Oklahoma State?
Lived in Parker Hall.
Mm-hmm. Parker.
They, I don't think anyone lives there anymore. I think they shut it down. But one of the last groups to live there. It was a real good experience.
Have you stayed on campus since then, or where have you lived?
No. After that first year, I moved into the Fox Run Apartments, and then year after that, moved into different apartment complex, and then this year I've got a house with 2 friends of mine that I'm living in. So.
I think it's at Parker. Did you ever eat at the Adams Food Mart?
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't get free food there though. I tried.
You try that. You give them this is my family.
Yeah.
Which obviously the Adams Food Mart there was named after your family.
Right.
That's great. Well, what about some of the campus activities and organizations you've been involved in, Travis?
Yeah. As far as the campus activities, I'm involved really in 2 organizations. One of them is the Financial Management Association, and this year I was actually the philanthropy chair. So we got to go and give a personal finance presentation to students at the alternative high school here at Lincoln Academy, and so that was a neat experience. And then we went out and did the big event as well. So. Kind of got to do that, and then get to hear speakers come in and kind of tell you what you can do with a finance degree and what it's like after you graduate. So that was, I think, a good experience for me. And then I'm also involved in the Spanish club, and this year I was actually the president. So got to. You
speak it fairly fluently.
Yeah,
you got conversational knowledge of the language in.
Right. Good. Right. Yeah, I really got to pick it up. We could do every Monday and Thursday. We'll have a group that'll get together at the Hideaway for a couple of hours just to practice Spanish conversation. It's a really good way to learn and pick it up.
Well, Travis, you're talking about your finance major, of course, also in Spanish. But have there been some professors or school administrators that have been influential in your student experience?
Right. As far as the finance major goes, I've actually only had one professor more than once. So she's actually my honors thesis director this semester, and she's been real helpful to me. Janice Jadlow has kind of been a real influence, and she's done favors for me and is actually trying to work right now to get me an internship. And so I really kind of appreciate a lot of the things she's done, and she's also the FMA advisor. So I've gotten to know her, and she's been real helpful. Right. And then as far as the Spanish goes, there's a couple of professors that I always think of. One of them is Professor O'Neill, and he's the guy. He's one of the co-advisors of the Spanish club. I had him my first semester at OSU, and he's just real down to earth, and he's also the guy that will come on Mondays and Thursdays and help us with our conversation. And so I've gotten to know him real well, and he's a baseball fan, and it's one of those things you can just talk to him about whatever you want to talk to him about, and he's open for conversation. And so there's him, and then a couple of my other Spanish professors that I've had over the years. I've got to have a couple of them more than once, and it's the Spanish department's really unique in the way that the students, I think, can bond with their professors a little more. So I've really enjoyed that experience.
You talk about you had some Spanish in high school.
Right.
Yeah. What encouraged you to choose it as a major at Oklahoma State?
Well, it's a good question. I took it all through high school. I went to Mexico once a year every spring break, and when I got to OSU, it was like, why not keep taking Spanish classes? I want to learn it. And so I don't know. My brother is also, one of his majors was Spanish as well. I don't know if that influenced my decision at all, but so I don't know. I just really enjoyed it, so kept taking classes and got a major in it.
Does he continue to use it? Can you guys talk in Spanish to each other?
Yeah. Every once in a while, we'll say a few sentences to each other, but I don't say the only ones. There's a couple people on my mom's side of the family that speak it as well, but for the most part, we're two of the only people that speak Spanish, so we typically try to talk in English when we're around other people, but every once in a while we'll throw a few sentences around.
I want to back up and ask you, I mentioned you earlier, Travis, your mom and dad, where did your dad grow up? Did he grow up in Lawton or somewhere else?
No, he grew up in Oklahoma City, I want to say. I'm fairly confident about that. And then my mom, her dad was a Methodist minister, and so they kind of were moving somewhat frequently. I know she lived in Idabel for a while, and other places, but as far as where they lived, I don't know just kind of a lot about where they were when they were growing up. You know, I've heard all kinds of stories and everything else, but where they all took place, I'm not entirely sure.
What was your mother's father's name?
Delbert Carter.
Okay, he was Methodist, the United Methodist minister.
Right.
So you're right, he did get moved around a lot.
Yeah.
He's a Methodist minister.
Yeah. But yeah, they ended up in Guthrie. I know that. That's where, you know, all my memories of them are in Guthrie. So
Okay.
that's where they finally ended up and settled down.
Now your dad works for Cameron University there in Lawton, is that right?
Right.
What does he do?
He's in the communications department. He does a lot of radio broadcasting, things of that nature. He actually does the play-by-play for Eisenhower High School, the football team. So, you know, it's kind of fun every once in a while when you're driving through Lawton and Eisenhower's playing, turn on the radio, and, you know, there's your dad doing the play-by-play.
Pretty cool, huh? That's great. Well, back to your OSU experience, Harris, do you have some favorite hangouts here on campus and in the community?
Yeah. One of the places, the Daily Grind. I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but we always hang out at the Daily Grind and we have those Spanish conversations. And the lady who runs it is, you know, real nice. Even though I don't ever get coffee, you know, she always is quick to give me a water. So I really appreciate that. But that's, you know, just kind of a fun place to hang out. It's a very relaxed atmosphere.
And that's part of Hideaway Pizza, is that right?
Yeah, it's in the same building,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. And then I don't know. As far as during the night, we like to go to Stonewall. It's kind of probably my favorite bar to hang out at. But and then I don't know. As far as, you know, just places to hang out, those are probably the two. If we're gonna go somewhere, unless we're going out to eat or something like that.
How did being a member of the you know, the historic Adams family influence your OSU experience, or did it?
You know, not entirely sure that it did. I mean, we've got, you know, that picture at the Alumni Association. There's a picture of one of our family reunions. So every once in a while, you know, if we're walking by, I like to show one of my friends that picture. But I mean, really, it's something that I, you know, didn't bring up just a whole lot, and I don't know that many of my professors even know about it. But you know, it's one of those things where I don't know if it really affected my experience up here. It's something that I know that, you know, it's kind of like a fun fact for me, but I don't know that it really affected, you know, what I did.
Have you been to Old Central since they renovated it?
Yeah, that's actually where they have the honors college now, so I have to go by there.
That's right. You did mention you're in honors class.
Right.
What did you ever walk through Old Central and imagine how it must have felt to James Homer and to Arthur to be the first OSU students, you know, to actually take classes there?
No.
Did it kind of cross your mind?
No, I never had. Maybe I've got to actually go by there later on this week, so maybe it'll cross my mind then. I'll probably think about it.
After you graduate, you're getting this nostalgic, huh?
Right.
Okay. You were talking earlier about, you tell some of your friends about it. What did very many people know about your, you know, the other students, faculty members around you, people you work with, like Dr. Jadlow, for example? Do they know about your family ties?
As far as, I don't know that I've told any of my professors. I know a few of my friends know. We actually had a dinner at the Alumni Center 2 weeks ago, I want to say, and so it's like while we were there, I was like told one of my friends, "Oh, hey, you have to look at my picture." But I mean, I know other than, you know, the guys I've known for a while up here, I don't know that that, you know, I've told anyone. I think it's one of those things where I don't want to try to like get by on a legacy or something like that. So maybe now that I've kind of paved my own path, I can tell some people. But no, I don't know that any of my professors know about the family legacy. So.
Well, you're talking about activity at the Alumni Center. Do you ever go by and show them the exhibit they have there in the Heritage Hall about the Adams family? Right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like if you know, a friend of mine happened to be walking by and we're, you know, not in a big hurry to do anything, you know, I'll stop and say, "Hey, have you ever seen the picture in there?" It's I just like to show people because in the picture I think I'm maybe 8 years old. I don't know, that's a guess, but I remember that on that particular day I was real bored because it was a family reunion. I was really kind of too young to appreciate it, and so in the picture I think I expressed that by making a face that is now in the Alumni Center. It's kind of a goofy face.
Yeah, aren't you one of the boxes too in the genealogical chart there?
Right.
Adam's family.
Right.
Kind of points to that. That's me and that family. So you're a fourth generation, is that right?
That's right.
My gosh. Well, well, commencement, of course, kind of fast forwarding here a couple of days,
okay.
3 days before the Saturday. Will commencement be especially meaningful to you and your family? It's a special day for anyone who's graduating, but knowing all of the Adams that graduated before you, in light of the OSU legacy, will it be special for you?
And it's actually kind of funny that you asked that. As far as the celebration and the party, the whole family's going to meet at Bud and Diane's house. I think we're all looking forward to that, and I'm excited about that. But the actual graduation, I was actually trying to convince my dad not to make me go. But no, I mean we're going to end up going. So it's one of those things where I never saw the appeal to it, I suppose. But no, I suppose if I think for my dad and maybe like Uncle Bob and some of the other family members, it'll mean something. So
are Bob and Pat going to be there?
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
So now is that a little bit of a family tradition? Because I've noticed the last few years, anytime one of the Adams family members graduated, you have the celebration now that Walter referred to as Bud,
right,
and Diane's house here in Stillwater. Is that kind of a tradition now?
Yeah, I think the last 3 people who have graduated here now all had a graduation party out there. My brother graduated 5 years ago, and we all came up for that. And then before that, it was my cousin Phil Sonnenfeld graduated, and we all went out to Bud and Diane's house, and just had a good time.
That's great. So you're looking forward to that on Saturday then?
Oh yeah, friends and family, and I think we're gonna have Bad Brad's there. So.
Oh my gosh, great!
It'll be fun.
I gotta ask you this question. I mean, you got a lot going on in your life, Travis. A lot of things, taking 21 hours. I mean, have you met this special lady yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Still looking, or maybe you're not looking. I don't know. Have you thought about, I know you're trying to finish up, but have you had a chance to, this past year, to think about, your future any? I mean, can you talk about some of your dreams, some things you hope to accomplish?
Sure. I decided, I think about a year ago, that I want to spend at least 1 year on every continent. I don't know if I've included Antarctica in that yet or not, but
with the penguins.
Right. But I don't know. I think studying Spanish up here kind of got me really interested in that culture and all of South America. And I had a chance to go to Peru. My brother was down there for a couple of years, and we went down there to visit him. And I just loved the 2 weeks that we spent down there, and so really got interested in traveling in other cultures and things like that. And so that's something that I'd really like to do. As far as long-term goals, I don't know. I guess as long as I'm doing something I like to do, I'm happy. I'm kind of relaxed and don't like to plan things out way ahead.
You said you visited your brother in Peru. What was he doing in Peru?
He was doing mission work down there. Yeah, he was in Peru and Bolivia for 2 years.
Have you thought about doing any mission work yourself?
Yeah, I've considered it, but just haven't found exactly what I'd want to do if I end up doing that. So it's one of those things where I'm going to keep my eye open for opportunity, and if one comes up, try to.
I understand you've been doing some interviewing. What are some of the positions you're looking at, thinking about, or have interviewed for?
Right. All my interviews so far have been with kind of financial advising positions. So this last week I had an interview with Saxon, which is a subsidiary of Morgan Stanley, and then on Friday I just had an interview with Northwestern Mutual in Oklahoma City. And then I've had a couple other interviews in the past, but haven't heard back from them. So we're trying to narrow down the job search, I suppose. Or just find a job, I guess.
Have you got some serious interest in a couple of those interviews, do you think?
Yeah, that Northwestern Mutual interview on Friday I think went really well, and they're a really good company, and I could see myself working for them.
So I know you're talking about spending a year on each continent. I mean, I'm trying to kind of put these two together.
Right.
Going to work financial planning.
Right.
Are you planning on doing some travel before you settle into a career path?
If I get that opportunity, I would love to. And I'm still kind of looking at different opportunities to teach abroad. Teaching this, one of my summers up here, I actually was able to go to Guadalajara for a month and teach English at an elementary school, and that was a really good experience. And so, the problem is I don't have a ESL certification, so I'm thinking about maybe just trying to get certified as a English as a second language teacher and see if I can't teach abroad somewhere, maybe in South America. So that's another option that I'm still considering.
Did you, with all your majors, did you have time to do a teaching block or get a teaching credentials on with your language?
No, unfortunately no. But it's one of those things where I don't really have regrets or anything, but one of the things that, I wish maybe I could have done if I had the time to do is take more electives, because the way it worked was, for my finance major, all my Spanish classes were the electives for that, and for my Spanish major, all my finance classes counted as electives, so I didn't really get to take a whole lot of different electives and kind of explore different areas.
Not like you had a lot of time. You got, would you say, 21 hours you're taking this semester?
Yeah, that's right.
You made it hard to tack on very many more hours.
That's right.
Looking back on your OSU experience, what have been some highlights for you? Have there been some special memories?
Oh, sure. This wasn't really with OSU, but it was, during summer break one year, and that was the trip to Mexico. That was just a real good experience for me. That was the longest I'd been abroad, and it was a new place and completely different culture that I hadn't really got to experience before, and got to do something that was rewarding, I think. So. Was
that the summer you taught, Travis? Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was the summer I taught English, and I was there with as a class of 3rd and 4th graders. So just a real cool deal, a good opportunity that I kind of looked into.
That'd be a good challenge, 3rd and 4th graders.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if I do it again, I think I would do kind of like high school maybe, or a bit of an older age group, but something that I still really enjoyed doing.
Any memories of your OSU experience that stands out for you?
Let me think. Doing the Spanish club was always real fun. I can't think of one particular instance, but those meetings that we have twice a week, got to meet just a lot of different people from that, from all kinds of different countries. I've got a friend that actually just finished his master's in psychology. He's from El Salvador. And, I've got other friends from Mexico and Spain and Venezuela that, I met a lot of these people through kind of that opportunity. So, going to those was, I think, just a real good experience for me, and kind of, I always looked forward to them and tried not to. I almost tried to treat it like a class, because otherwise, I was afraid I might blow it off or something like that. But so I'd say that was probably the best event, even though it's kind of like a weekly thing.
How has your perception of OSU changed from the time you started here? You must have had, based on your family and the family traditions and your thoughts and your brother's experience, you probably had certain expectations and certain thoughts. You finished, or will be finished here in a couple of days.
Right.
And looking back, has your perspective changed on what you thought about OSU from when you started to what you know about it now? And if so, how has it changed?
That's a good question. I'm typically the kind of person that can just kind of go with the flow. I'm kind of like to live in the moment, or within a couple of days. So I don't know that I had just a lot of perceptions over what I thought I'd be doing, 4 years in the future. So I don't know. I think the experience was certainly different than what I thought it was going to be. I mean, living in the dorms, it's one of those things where you don't really know what living in the dorms is like until you actually live in the dorms. And that was, a real good experience that first year. And I don't think I expected the community that, we had. I think the floor that we lived on was especially good about, doing things together. And I still hang out with a lot of those guys. So I don't know. I think really any expectations that I had were probably met or exceeded for the most part.
It's sort of similar to the question I asked earlier, but a little bit different twist. Thinking about things that were special to you, special kind of moments and times. You talk about the times when you met with your group over at Coffee Grind.
Right.
But what things have the sort of unexpected, unanticipated ahas that you had as a college student?
Okay, unexpected moments. I don't know. There was a semester I got 3 Bs. Didn't see that one coming.
And that for you was a bad semester because you got a 3.8 overall.
Right, I think I had a 3.5 that semester. Yeah, kind of lowered my GPA there, but no, honestly, I don't think that was that big of a deal to me. They're just grades, but kind of unexpected moments. I think maybe some of the different classes. I mean, by the first couple of years, I did take classes that I didn't think I'd be interested or wouldn't like. The one I'm thinking of in particular was my honors history class that I had, and all through high school, I don't think I ever had a history class that I enjoyed, and came in with kind of that expectation. And when I don't know, it was amazing how I had one really good history professor at OSU, and all of a sudden my interest in history was the whole perspective, everything was kind of different. And so I think maybe that I don't know, I kind of like studying everything, and so I think I didn't realize that maybe about myself, that I don't have to limit myself to just French or just Spanish. And so kind of on the side, I've read different books that are related to psychology, and that's actually what I did my honors thesis. I just presented it last week, and is related to psychology, and I've read a couple of books that are related to history since then, and things like that. So maybe I guess my aha moment was that you don't have to limit yourself to what you study based on your classes or things like that.
Who was the history professor in the class you're going to?
Yeah, his name was actually James Fenimore Cooper, is the professor's name. But I don't know, it was just a really good class. And it's probably the only history class I ever actually had to work to earn an A, so that probably had something to do with it as well.
Congratulations. Good experience for you. I guess there's some younger Adams family members coming down behind you. I'm not sure. Or is it going to go to the next generation? Where are you in that generational chain? Yeah,
in my dad's side of the family, I'm actually the youngest member of my generation.
Okay.
On my mom's side, I actually have a younger cousin who's thinking about coming up here, which he's a senior in high school right now, and so he's about to graduate, so he's got to make a decision pretty soon. But ironically, they're actually, his dad's an OU fan, and so I think the OSU is the one who's offering a scholarship, and so he might end up at OSU. We're hoping he does.
What would you recommend OSU to one of your younger Adams family members or any other younger person thinking about Oklahoma State University, and what would you tell them about OSU?
Oh yeah, I definitely recommend it. I just think that the people up here are just everyone's friendly, and it's kind of a relaxed atmosphere. I mean, there's just as good as programs for whatever you want to do as anything else. So yeah, I think that the atmosphere at OSU is just different. I mean, it's a great campus. It's one of those things where I was growing up, we'd always come to the OSU campus for football games and things like that. And I always just kind of assumed that every campus out there was as nice as OSU's, and then I'd been to a couple of other different college campuses for various things, and it's like they're not all as nice as OSU's is, so kind of got to appreciate that. But yeah, definitely the people. I mean, everyone's just friendly up here for the most part.
Sort of a follow-on question, the other about your perception and expectations in your OSU experience. Looking back, I mean, you probably come to OSU for several reasons per our conversation. One of which was your older brother, your parents, your family. So,
right.
But looking back, was it a good decision? You kind of look back now and say, yeah, it was good for me. Now, if it's not, I mean, feel free to say that too. I mean, but did it, looking back and think about your experience, did you say, yeah, it was a good decision for me? For me, it was the right decision?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, regardless of the family legacy and whatnot, I mean, I still got a good education, still met, a lot of good friends, and it's one of those things where I typically don't like to ever say, like, what if I'd gone to another college or something else, because, I'm happy with the way everything's turned out. So, yeah, I'd definitely say that, coming to OSU is a good decision for me.
Could I ask you why? Why has it been a good decision for you?
Sure. I think just college experience, that really, I think, you can probably get this anywhere. I don't know for sure since I've only been to OSU, but I mean, the community that, you have when, you're living in the dorms and that you make, through all your classes and different organizations and things like that. There's that, just the ability to, make friends to, I'm happy with my education. I feel like I've got a good education at OSU. I don't know, how much it would have been different had I gone to a different college, but I just think that, the whole college experience for me has turned out to be a good one and a rewarding one. So.
Sort of a broad question, Travis, but in your opinion, has OSU, you think, sufficiently acknowledged the Adams family, its contributions, its unique place in the university?
Oh, yeah, I'd say they have. I mean, we've got the Adams Market that's named after us. I think, James and Arthur have their plaque outside of that building, actually, and kind of like a little story underneath them. And so there's that. There's the Alumni Center where, our family has its own little display, and I don't know that any other university has that kind of stuff just for being the first to graduate. So it's kind of a neat deal how I think OSU recognizes that. I couldn't tell you, if OU or any of the other schools out there make as big a deal about the first people to graduate from their colleges as what we do. So I've always thought that was kind of neat, actually.
It's got to be kind of special. You were talking earlier, sort of laughing about your dad maybe talked you into going through commencements or exercises, but it's got to be a special feeling for you. First of all, just it's a special feeling to graduate. I mean, all the years and the sacrifice and the hours and the study, and you almost put a lifetime compressing in those 4 years, so it's a lot of emotions going through your mind. But to look back and think, for 4 generations, I mean, my family members have gone to Oklahoma State University. It's been all the commencements they've gone through to the first commencement in 1896. Does that give you a different perspective? Does it put it in a different context for you?
Well, I hadn't thought about that. I suppose it kind of does. When I was originally talking to my dad, asking him if I had to go, and I think he had said that Uncle Bob might end up coming, and I thought, oh, Uncle Bob would probably like to see me graduate because, I know he really likes that history. And so when he said that, I thought, oh, I can go to graduation. So I think that might put it in a little bit of a different perspective, like you're, part of a history or part of a family, that kind of thing.
So now you'll be graduating, and you're going to be joining the OSU Alumni Association, right?
Sure.
and you'll stay connected with your alma mater, right?
Right.
It's an alumni director talking. Well, kind of closing, you got to give me some Spanish. I mean, how do you say Pistol Pete in Spanish?
Oh, Pete de Pistolas. I don't know. Proper names typically don't get changed.
Is there any translation for Go Pokes?
Probably so.
Go would be what?
Pokes. Well, go would be via Pokes, or via Gauchos is Cowboy, I suppose.
Via Gauchos, I like it. Well, it's been kind of a fun conversation with you, Travis. Think about what have we not talked about that you'd like to talk about? Is there some topics, some things on your mind?
Let me think for a second.
Let me give you a start, okay?
All right.
Anything you want to say? It is kind of your shining moment here, Travis. Anything you want to say to your parents or the family members? Because you're going to get a copy of this and you'll have it for forever, for posterity. Anything you want to say to the family about your graduation or to them personally?
Well, I could say thank you, I suppose. My dad paid a good chunk of money for me to get an education up here, so thanks, Dad. But no, really, all my family has kind of been supporting me all throughout as far back as I can remember. I know even my Uncle Bruce, my Aunt Tony's husband, kind of really pushed me to get my Eagle Scout. I was, you've got until you're 18 to get it, and he would call me from Colorado to, ask me, hey, what have you done this week to, get your Eagle project done, things like that. So, I'm real thankful for, all the family and all the support that I've got.
That's great. Anything you're going to say to Danny, your brother, your older brother?
I don't need to say anything to him. I see him all the time.
Okay.
Sorry, Dave.
All right. So, back to the original question, is there anything, we can certainly conclude, but I want to be sure you got a chance. Is there anything you want to say or talk about in terms of your OSHA experience, your Adams family traditions, anything you want to share that we may have left out or haven't talked about?
Well, I can't think of anything on those lines.
All right. Travis, appreciate it. And again, congratulations, or I should say, first of all, good luck on your next, 3 finals you still have left?
That's right, 3 finals.
And assuming that everything comes out okay, congratulations on your graduation.
Oh, thank you.